Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
Fuego here.
Back with another review for you guys. This is for a movie that's been out for a few months now, and it's even on Netflix, which is how we went ahead and watched it. But it's one that tickled my fancy when we first did the trailer reaction to it about 6 months ago or something. And of course, like many of the other movies we react to, we just haven't gotten around to seeing it yet.
There's so much stuff, guys. We're trying though.
Exactly. It's pretty tough with day jobs and stuff like that. So what we saw today was Abattoir. And this was interesting. I think it could have just as I think I made the joke in the trailer reaction, it could have just as easily been called Frankenhouse. Mm-hmm. It wasn't exactly what I was thinking it was going to be. Yeah. I mean, it was and it wasn't. Mm-hmm. So we'll do the review like normal. We'll talk about our overall thoughts. We'll talk about story, acting, effects, all that good stuff. And overall, I was underwhelmed by this movie. I was really hoping for something more, but it was too slow for my taste with not enough payoff. Not nowhere near enough payoff for me.
Yeah, it was interesting how more so than a horror movie, it was almost like a gothic crime noir kind of thing. I mean, down to the attire of the girl and like her gumshoe detective.
It is a little closer
interest.
to your Crimson Peaks than
Perhaps.
Your other type. I mean, as far as the gothic noir sort of story goes.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I was getting like true crime noir, like 30s kind of, I mean, once again, back to their attire and the fact that she said, I like old things and so on and so forth. So it was trying to be ambitious. It was this guy, Darren Lynn Bousman. He's the guy who directed Saw 2, 3, and 4 and done some other stuff like Devil's Carnival. So you could tell it was a well-directed movie, but I felt like the execution was a lot of mishmashed ideas that didn't always gel or explain themselves very well. So it was okay, but I wasn't too impressed either.
Yeah. So the story basically goes, we follow this character. I don't remember what was her real name. What was her name? Julia. Okay. And she goes to visit her sister and her family, and blah, blah, blah. They're having a good time, and then it's funny, while she's there, actually, someone sneaks into the house and creeps upstairs, and then once she's gone, that person then kills her sister and her entire family. And this happens right at the beginning, so it's not a spoiler, it's a setup for the movie.
Yep.
And basically, when she tries to go back to the crime scene to try and glean more information about what might have happened, it was only a couple days later, or 5 days or something, and when she goes back, the entire room has been ripped out of the house. And so she tries to, she follows the real estate train of questioning, so to speak.
She's a real estate reporter.
Yeah,
so she knows all this stuff. How could it go to escrow so quickly? Wow.
Yeah. But so she starts tracking down this thing, and there's other houses with tragedies that happened that someone swooped in and bought the property and then gutted the murder portion of the house and then left the rest there. And so it's been happening for a long time, and she starts to find out that there's supposedly this guy that's the one person doing it all, and she finds out, sort of gleans that he might be trying to collect these crime scenes, and she meets people along the way that give her little bits and pieces of information, which is why it gives that sort of crime noir thriller feel to it. And eventually she tracks down the town where this guy sort of is the home base, and where she suspects this thing that he's building is being built. And so she then continues the investigation inside the town. And
which is her hometown?
Yeah, it's her hometown, exactly.
New English?
Yeah, New English, exactly.
Like, what?
But there's so much that happens that's very, convenient, and it's just it doesn't excuse itself enough by the end. But so she finds out exactly why he's doing it. He's sort of collecting ghosts, and he gives her the opportunity to go and try and see her family again or walk away from it, and that's kind of how it goes down, and what happens when she makes her decision. We won't ruin here, but
we finally get to the house.
Yeah, exactly. Like with 15 minutes before the end of the movie.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating. That's okay. So there you go. That's the story. It's an intriguing setup, and then they don't continue on in any sort of intriguing way with that setup. Yeah. Like they take that setup and sort of make it the most boring version of that it could possibly be.
Yeah, and I like slow build horror. I mean, that's something that I can appreciate, but this just took way too long to get to a payoff for me. And once again, unique concept that I was intrigued by, and yet once again, execution, and the fact that the conveniences Cecil mentioned, and the fact that things just didn't feel like they were explained to me as well motivation-wise for certain characters, most notably the antagonist, and so...
Yeah, if his goal is to get her back to complete the thing, why would he have tried to push them away so many times? It doesn't make any sense.
That it was like a bait and like pull it back, and then he was like, I don't know, there's Corrupt Town involved too, and I mean just lots of tropes and lots of things we've seen in other movies done better, and so unique setup was not enough to save this movie.
And then when you're finally, well, I guess that's a good way to let's hit the effects real quick, because that's what they lean on in the last 20 minutes of the movie when she finally gets there. And
I thought they looked pretty good.
I thought the effects were okay, except that you're seeing sort of ghostly images of these events and people that died.
All the different rooms.
But the problem is they're so wavy and spectral that you can't really see exactly what everything is. You can see sort of humanoid forms, but they're just like moving blobs.
Yeah, shadowy kind of.
That's not good. There's no terror when you're seeing them play out their crimes, but you can't actually see them play out their crimes and stuff.
And yet some we've seen earlier in the movie, you know, like the party all getting poisoned and the drowning and different stuff like that. But still, I mean, revisiting them, it could have been. It almost looked half-assed. Like
it would have been
have as much money to put into the effects.
It's way more unnerving if someone is walking silently past all these crimes re-happening over and over and over again, like on a loop, and like, but we didn't, you know. I would have liked to have seen more of it, you know, instead of just globules of stuff.
Yeah, and yet I thought the camera movements and stuff were kind of sharp and interesting once we finally got into the house, and there was like cool shots down spirally staircases and things like that, but I don't know. Once again, you know, it took us too long to get there, and then once we did, things just hadn't been explained well enough. So, yeah, I mean, everything was just kind of half-baked in this in a lot of ways.
The gore effects were okay when we got them, but then again, towards the end, it just wasn't that... they weren't there at the end when they should have been there the most, and... so there were no scares, there was no bite to the last 20 minutes of the movie, which is supposed to be the big payoff, and then it's just a disappointing ending. It's like, really? That's all? That's all we get? Like,
and yet, if we're going to segue into acting, I didn't feel like the acting was that bad. I mean, I like the dude from Across the Universe who was in this. There's another girl who's like a Megan Fox lookalike type thing. And she was okay.
I actually wasn't a big fan of hers.
Yeah.
There was a lot of blank stares and stuff that just didn't ring any sort of emotion.
Supposed to emote and just look blank face.
Yeah, literally. Like, we're supposed to be like... assuming that she's wrestling with something inside, but it's literally just, I'm just going to stare blankly for a minute.
Yeah, and then you've got Lin Shaye, who's probably on set for like a day or two, so she's really underutilized here.
I liked her character.
I did too. That's why I wanted more.
But again, not enough explained, and not enough after it was explained, so to speak. You know what I mean? Again, without spoiling. So. Yeah. The acting was okay. Yeah, I liked the dude, and I actually liked the antagonist too. I think I thought he
Jebediah. He had a little bit of interesting menace to him.
He was pretty good. He was essentially a grown-up child of the corn,
big time. But down to the hat and everything.
Yeah, exactly. But nonetheless, he was fun to watch. He was the most interesting to watch. Because there was we knew the least about him and his motivations, so finally when he talked, it was to tell us his motivations, and so I was...
And just kind of spoon feed certain things to us.
Yeah, so
like
it was a little easy, but it was still more, it was more entertaining to watch him than a lot of the other things in the movie.
Yeah, I thought the men in it actually did a pretty good job. So, but at the end of the day, once again, just halfway there. Great idea, but man, it's frustrating when you feel like this film could have been so much better, because I truly feel like it could have been, and they just didn't happen.
And the set design I thought towards the end went from super interesting to just kind of interesting when they actually went in the house, because when she first
the exterior of the house
when they first arrive, parts of the rooms are just like in the forest and like lit interestingly, and there's like a chandelier hanging from nothing, but I'm guessing it's a tree or something, but it's all there, and I thought, oh, okay, so it's not going to be a big house, it's just all sort of collected, and all that raw negative energy is going to produce this bad stuff. But no,
still being assembled.
Then we actually get to the house, and the house is less interesting than the exterior is, because you can tell that they had to film in all these different locations, or just change the dressing of the different rooms to make it look like completely different parts of different houses
different
brought
eras
into
too,
one,
presumably.
but it wasn't successful. It just looked like redressed parts of the same house. So they should have stuck with the exterior stuff. I thought that was way cooler looking.
Agreed. Yeah, once again, just a mashup of many things that didn't always gel.
Yeah.
Not super cohesive, so...
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
I am glad I saw it just
Yeah.
because it was an interesting setup, and who knows, maybe someday someone could come up with an idea that's similar but executed a little bit better.
I guess there's some comic book stuff that they did for this, a prequel and a plain sequel. So there is a graphic novel tie-in, maybe fleshing out the universe and back history a little bit more. I just don't know if I like this enough for everyone to seek it out.
No, I don't think I do based on this movie. So it's a shame when it happens, guys. Maybe the next Netflix choice will be a little bit better for us, but
The Windmill.
yeah, The Windmill, or what was the other one? I still want to watch The Wailing. I still want to watch Tag. Still want to watch XX. We were going to do XX, but we wanted to wait for at least one of our female co-hosts in order to give a female's perspective.
Yeah, because they're all directed by females.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but that's going to do it for our review of Abattoir, guys. If you've seen it, let us know in the comments below what you thought of it. Did you like it? Were you underwhelmed like us? Or if you haven't seen it, does this make you more or less likely to check it out? I want to know, so put it down in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Cecil Laird.
Gracias, Jaime, and Fuego.
And remember, stay scared.